Reports indicate that USS Zumwalt, DDG-1000, the lead ship of the Zumwalt class, U.S. Navy's largest and technologically most sophisticated class of guided missile destroyers, will be declared fully operational within days. The stealth destroyer USS Zumwalt is almost ready for action, 3.5 years after it was commissioned into the U.S. Navy. The USS Zumwalt was commissioned in October 2016. The follow-on ship, the USS Michael Monsoor, DDG-1001, was commissioned in January 2019, and the third ship of the class, the future USS Lyndon B. DDG-1002, christened in April 2019 and is slated to be commissioned in 2021. The ships of this class will all be configured for a new kind of mission. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why Zumwalt-class stealth destroyers will fit perfectly into the new role of killing Chinese warships. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. Zumwalt-class destroyers were designed as multi-mission stealth ships with a focus on land attack. Initially, there was a plan to build 32 of them. Each of these warships was supposed to be fitted with two 155mm advanced gun systems, each capable of engaging targets with precision-guided shells at ranges of up to 60 miles. During wartime, these ships of this class were supposed to get close to enemies' coastline and target their tactical assets, clearing the way for amphibious assault. But the ship ran into technical difficulties and very high cost overruns. The U.S. Navy had to ultimately curtail the count from 32 to only 3. The Long-Range Land Attack Projectile, or LRLAP, the precision-guided shell that would arm the ship's guns, saw cost escalation from $50,000 a round to $800,000. The U.S. Navy, for this reason, canceled LRLAP, but pushed ahead to complete the 3 ships. The ships will now be configured to take on the enemy's surface combatants. China has made significant progress when it comes to building and deploying advanced warships. One of the most prominent examples is the Type 55 destroyer. Type 55 warships have an overall length of 590 feet, 180 meters, and have a displacement of about 13,000 tons when fully loaded. Type 55's biggest asset is the massive VLS vertical launch system array. It's configured with a 112-cell VLS. This is higher than Arleigh Burke class, which has a 96-cell VLS, and is only surpassed by South Korea's new Sejong the Great class destroyers, which have 128 VLS cells, and Russian and American cruisers. The VLS cells are an important constituent since they're multi-role and can be used to deploy different types of weapons. Not only this, for only a decade, China has also been steadily building on plans to deploy 6 aircraft carriers. The plan also made provisions so that the carriers are of progressively higher capability. China's first carrier, the Type 001 Liaoning, is actually an old Soviet-era Kuznetsov-class carrier. Though considerably smaller than U.S. carriers, the Liaoning is a major step forward. The second carrier, launched in 2017, designated the Type 001A, was China's first entirely domestically built carrier and is essentially a copy of the Type 001 with very small improvements. China's third and fourth carriers, Type 002 or Type 003, are significantly larger and more capable. They're designed to possess catapult-equipped flight decks that would allow the deployment of full combat-loaded jet fighters. The final and most ambitious stage of the Chinese carrier program was two even larger flat-deck carriers. These were supposed to use nuclear propulsion and were intended to be equal in capability to the U.S. Navy's supercarriers, though reports indicate that they're now canceled. To know more on that, check the video in the above card. Nonetheless, it is clear that Chinese surface combatants pose a real threat. This is where the Zumwalt class will be useful, as it has two features that make it suitable for this kind of role: stealth and new long-range weapon. Stealthy design is mostly attributed to warplanes, but Zumwalt class brings the stealth to a major warship. Zumwalt class destroyers feature unique wave-piercing tumble-home hulls. The hull slopes inward from above the waterline, which is very different from traditional hulls which move outwards at a hard angle. The design significantly reduces the radar cross-section, since the slope makes the hull return very less radar signal that's directed to it when compared to a traditional hull. This makes the ship harder to detect and target. Some reports indicate that the ship has a radar return similar to a small fishing boat. There is no other frontline battleship that has this kind of revolutionary design. This will make it hard for the Chinese forces to target it. The Zumwalt-class destroyers, in addition to their two 155mm guns, have 80 Mark 57 cells protected by Peripheral Vertical Launch System (PVLS). The PVLS is designed to reduce the chances of the risk of loss of the entire missile battery or even the entire ship in the case of magazine explosion. The system consists of pods of VLS cells that are placed in the outer shell of the ship's superstructure. The outer shell is built with thin steel, whereas the inner shell has thick steel. The design configuration directs any forces of explosion outwards, reducing the chances of crippling damage. Each Mark 57 can carry a single SM-2 or SM-6 long-range surface-to-air missile, ASROC anti-submarine rocket torpedo, or up to 4 evolved Sea Sparrow short-range surface-to-air missiles. Importantly, they can also carry Tomahawk. A potential warload for the ships would be 30 Maritime Strike Tomahawks, 30 SM-6 and SM-2 missiles for long-range air defense, 5 anti-submarine torpedo rockets, and 60 evolved Sea Sparrow missiles for short-range defense. Maritime Strike Tomahawks is a variant of the original Tomahawk. The original Tomahawk was designed for land attack, but the Maritime Strike Tomahawk is designed to hit enemy surface combatants. Block 5 capabilities include the ability to change targets in mid-flight via satellite, target moving enemy ships at sea, and the new Joint Multiple Effects warhead system. It has a range of 900 miles or around 1,450 kilometers. Zumwalt class has been an expensive, very long, and almost torturous undertaking, but it's coming to the fore and is now configured to play a significant role in future battle. Zumwalt's stealth characteristics will enable it to sneak in undetected, and the long-range Maritime Strike Tomahawks will be an excellent standoff weapon. It can be said that Zumwalt class and Maritime Strike Tomahawk will be a lethal combo. It remains to be seen how the two guns are armed in the future. It is to be noted that the U.S. Army is working on strategic long-range cannon, or SLRC, that could hit targets at a distance of more than 1,000 miles, or around 1,600 kilometers away. Also, the U.S. Army took 2 shots from its ERCA, or Extended Range Cannon Artillery System, which both reached 40 miles or 65 kilometers in range and hit their intended targets in a demonstration at Yuma Proving Grounds, Arizona on March 6th. It's likely that some technology from these projects could be integrated into Zumwalt class, which will make it even more potent.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.